Any questions, please?
Please, Rosie.
Where did you film? Was it in one, which part of the coast was it?
Just outside Montrose and just outside and along the cliffs at Arbroath.
I really enjoyed that. Thank you. Really enjoyed that. And it's sort of like an observation, which may be a question. I was saying to my friend that I came at that in a very different way. I was surprised that I didn't I felt myself not trying to put a narrative on the film in the sense of, who is she, why is she coming out of the window, are there two people, is she a bird? And it was only afterwards I thought I hadn't done that as I was watching the film, and I think that was because of the integration of the music and the film. And for me, that was a richer experience than trying to create this story, this narrative. I enjoyed the visual imagery, I enjoyed the music, I think in a far richer way, if that makes sense, nice. By not creating in my head a narrative, whereas if I'd watched the film without the music, I would have created a narrative. Yeah. Does that make sense? And I felt that was a rich experience. Were you aware of anything like that when you were both creating the piece?
Well, we weren't looking for a specific narrative, I don't think, but it was done in an unusual way in that the music really for every section was written before certainly the first version of the video, then some alterations were made. So it was they're the same structure, or parallel structures, not identical. And sometimes it's much more exaggerated in the music than on the video. But that's the nature of the mediums, I think. The media, I think, not mediums.
Oonagh, did you have a sense of narrative?
There is a story behind it, but without the music. And there's a different version of the film, because I was making the film as part of my master's that was just completed at Grays. And so there is a definite narrative for me, but David probably doesn't share that. He doesn't share that narrative. So I have a 6-minute version, which is much more condensed. But there are connections that we made because of all the meetings and me sharing my observations as well.
And I inflicted poor Oonagh with computer playbacks of the music, which warning her that it really had very little to do with it. And I think when you, this morning for the first time in rehearsal, heard the music for real, you suddenly, well, it's a difference between a human being and a computer.
Yeah, completely different experience.
Please.
Jane.
Yeah, yes, very interesting, this whole thing about you not seeing the imagery first and then writing the music. And then several things. I'm just wondering how much information did you give to David to give him hints? Because probably he, being as stubborn as he is, probably doesn't have any information whatsoever.
Jane is an old friend.
And we've worked together.
David knew about the theme of my master's work, so that was a start. My master's work, it's all about recapturing the sense of wonder, immersing yourself in your environments and actually looking at the world around you. And I do a lot of beach combing and collecting of objects and stuff. And I was sending messages out to sea with bottles out to sea with like found objects that I'd found, and asking people to look at them in a different way. And so I'd also sent David one of my messages in a bottle so that he had my objects to look at when he was writing.
Can I just add to that then? Because the one thing I noticed throughout is that I found that the whole thing's actually very abstract, and then the adding of David's music to it, the whole collaboration ends up with quite an abstract piece rather than an illustrative piece.
Yeah.
So I get your point exactly about that if you hadn't followed a linear narrative throughout, and then if David then had illustrated that, I think that would have been a much weaker experience. But whereas here you can see a lot of sort of dynamics going because you've taken a different approach, but there is that wonderful. I mean, the other thing with the visuals is that you've got lots of horizontal and vertical little rhythms, and it's all very rhythmic and very textual. And I think somehow David miraculously has sort of picked up on that because without having had too much information, so that creates something very interesting. But there is this wonderful bit where there's this massive, great crescendo and then the drums and all the rest of it there. And then I was waiting there for the visuals and I was saying, how is this actually going to, is there something going on here where there has been this immediate collaboration?
The interesting bit is that I knew I didn't have any music to go with it. I just knew it was going to be like that. So I had to make that without actually hearing it.
But you didn't know that David was going to come up with that bit then?
No, he told me. But I have not. This is the first time that I've heard that part of the music because that's completely improvised.
Interesting. Well, it is truly an improvisation in the sense of jazz and that sort of jazz improvisation, which is exciting.
Well, I gave musicians, they have a very small quantity. All that 2 minutes, 20 seconds is based upon those, I don't know if you can see, but they're boxes round some rather restless figures. And they just combine them as they take it. I mean, what they did was exactly what I wanted, but I had to leave it to them because you could struggle to write something like that down, but they would spend 6 months rehearsing it and not get it right, and it actually works better that way.
Did I do exactly what you wanted?
Well, in a sense, I'd hoped you would have been able to film a flying gale, but then the weather didn't oblige, did it? You can't film something which isn't there. So in fact, you did, but it became more almost an internal turmoil rather than an external turmoil.
Dion, and then just behind.
I was wondering, did you look at the video before or after, or at any point just sitting and watching any of you?
Yeah, we did. We looked through it all together before we. As soon as we got sent it, we watched it through, and then we were playing the music a little bit before we got sent the video, and then put the.
Suren's very modest. They've done hours of rehearsal in London with the video on a TV, so there's a huge amount of work And I guess that is something to be conscious of new music. It takes a lot of rehearsal because obviously it's new to the musicians, whereas the classical repertoire, musicians probably know and they can rehearse that. But with something like this, it's learning from scratch the music, and then when you have to connect it with the video, that's pretty difficult. And I know how many hours you spent working on it.
Yeah, we met up.
Yes, I think individually looking at the parts, we said, oh, this is quite easy. But when we actually came to play it, it was much harder than we actually anticipated. A lot of details, even between piano and cello, let alone the percussion, was extremely difficult to actually realize. So we did very many more rehearsals than we anticipated.
I think there was that added challenge of having to, which I've never done before, which is having to coordinate the speeds at which you play certain passages with certain points in the film, which was a new
But
skill.
you finished absolutely exactly together, which was wonderful.
It's like playing for like a film score almost.
Yes.
So, please.
Oh, thank you, but actually that's good for my question.
Oh, is that
We do, but so thank you so much for a fantastic performance.
One more question maybe? Or are we happy to?
I just wanted to say I thought that stormy part was amazing because actually although we did capture the storm visually, the sky was there and it was like the instruments took over the water and became the sea and I don't know, the boats struggling or whatever. I thought that was
Great.
surprising.
Thank you. Well, I think it was wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah.